Week 15, all the way to week 15 already. Jesus, this year has been flying by. Good, bad, or indifferent. That's the way it is now. But we're at week 15. It is December, late in December. And how'd you do this week, Alex? We didn't really talk about
I don't want to talk about this week.
it. Was that bad? How?
Because I lost in Dynasty, and that's really all that I cared about this week.
Okay, let me be more specific. How'd you do in DFS this weekend?
Pretty shitty too.
Oh, come on.
I played a lot of Parker. I played a lot of Watkins. I didn't have enough Cam and Russell stacks. The Pittsburgh game destroyed me.
Yeah, I think that destroyed a lot of people, including the number one seed in my one of my season-long leagues where I was able to beat him as the 8 seed. It was nice.
I mean, like, I had some good lineups, but like a lot of them just didn't pan out because of all of those things happening.
Dude, again, like we had a week a few weeks ago where everybody got injured, right? And this was just another one. It was just like everybody went down, and it's not like you're going down with like a hurt toe or something. Like these guys are gone for the year. Like
Yep.
it's like what's going on? So let's recap real quick on do 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 on
At
the
least they
listener
have the
league.
decency to be out multiple weeks, so we don't have to like pretend like we're going to use them.
That's true. Although there is some craziness going on, right? Like
No, it sucks, but like,
Well, look at Dwan Harris. You
well,
know, everyone's even Pete Carroll's like, oh, he's going to be sharing time with Bryce Brown. Oh wait, he's released.
just kidding.
Like,
And Bryce Brown isn't on the slate.
yeah, he's not even there.
Not even on the slate. That probably would be the number one recommended play.
And then Fred Jackson is there, but his price is so inflated.
His price is inflated, and he's not even the starting running back.
You know what?
So
You know what's kind of funny though? They freaking had oh, DraftKings. If anybody follows them on Twitter, right before the show, maybe a half hour before the show, and I even retweeted this. They sent they tweeted out a link to an article for the Next Man Up, like their Next Man Up series, and they had Dwan Harris as the guy in the article. I'm like, yeah, he's
that
probably
happened
not the
so much.
next
That,
man up.
wait, when did they tweet that out? Because like that happened like pretty early in the day.
No, they tweeted it again like a half hour before the show, a half hour ago maybe. If you look at my timeline, you'll see I retweeted it.
Right, but like I understand if you retweeted it a half an hour ago, they tweeted a half an
No,
hour.
they tweeted it again.
Jeez.
Uh my first notification from that came maybe a half hour to an hour ago at the most. So yeah, kind of funny to see them. They may have written the article, earlier in the day and posted it originally there, but then they reposted it later in the day, which was, I don't know, kind of funny to me.
You're so wasteful with your lower third.
I am. That's all right.
That's just so disappointing because me and Pete don't
I
even have
choose
the
to be.
option.
I choose to be. There's nothing wrong with my lower third today.
This show would be so much funnier if me and Pete were allowed to use our lower thirds again.
Well, I mean, you should probably dial up Google then, and ask them what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick.
Yeah, you should maybe get a tissue for your tears while you're at it, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
All right.
Let's go through the
Shots
listener.
fired as usual. Okay.
Let's go.
Good start.
All right, listener league. Here we go. The winning lineup from Neek4981. Congratulations.
Yeah, you're welcome, Neek, because I didn't play this week. I forgot.
God damn it, Pete.
You know what, Pete?
I do my lineup Saturday night, and it's always full.
Well, then reserve a spot on Tuesday or Thursday. You can reserve it and put a lineup in. It's not an excuse. Your 400 record is a thing of the past. I'm not going to count it anymore.
Just to confirm, I actually immediately entered the listener league as soon as you tweeted the link out this week so that I'd remember. Why would I pass up on a league that I can cash 40% of the time in? I forgot.
That's your bad.
So you're welcome, Neek. Probably would have gotten second if I had played.
Tough guy Pete coming in on a Tuesday. I like it.
All right.
So the winning lineup was a Russell Wilson, Doug Baldwin stack. That was a winning lineup in a lot of places. 64 points between the two of them. My goodness. What a day for Dougie. Let's see. Sean Drown, who decided to tank and hurt 31% of the people in this league, including me. LaShawn McCoy at 57%, so that's not where Neek decided to differentiate. AJ Green and Brandon Marshall, 24 and 26%, 28 and 27 points respectively. Jarvis down there, 11 for 99, got him 20 points. Will Ty
Called it.
for 14 points is where Neek really ended up winning the game, winning by 11. So if Will had gone with, I don't know, ASJ, it would have been a lot closer. I think he still would have won, but Will Ty, he was, 2,800 this past week, if I'm not, yep, 2,800, getting you 14 points, getting that receiving touchdown. Killed it. Very nice job this week, Neek. Hopefully you win more than just the listener league here. Congratulations. I didn't get reached out to at all, so I don't know if Neek was coming on the show or not, but if you have something to say, give me an email, shoot it out, or a tweet, and let's chat. I can read something off for you Thursday, but for now, it's Tuesday. Let's move on. Let's get into tonight's value picks. I've got to open up the notes here. The first one is someone that I'm going to assume he's really just a matchup pick since he's at home and he's going to be taking on the Miami Dolphins coming on a short week, traveling cross country.
I forgot about that.
They also just gave up, an absurd night, I should say, to Eli Manning, right? He had, 3 incompletions and 4 touchdown passes, something ridiculous like that. So
27 of 31 for 314 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something ridiculous. But here's a guy in Phillip Rivers who's thrown 5 touchdown passes over the past 5 weeks. 3 of those with 0 at all. So is this really a recommendation, Alex, or is this kind of he's out there, good luck?
It's more of a hope and a prayer, to be honest. They have nobody catching the ball. If Inman and Stevie Johnson play and they have a full corpse of receivers other than Keenan Allen, yeah, he could do fine. But and especially just because the Dolphins can't cover anything. That was pathetic. That second Beckham touchdown. Are you kidding?
Oh god, it was beautiful.
How do you cover one of the best receivers in football like that? He just didn't walk into the end zone.
I love it.
OBJ is legit the best player in the NFL, for real.
Yeah, that first touchdown was.
Oh, dude, foot placement was just the fact that his foot placement was on point, and B that he knew it.
No, it's not even that he knew it. It's that nobody even thought about the fact that he had scored that touchdown when it happened. When anyone first saw that play, he just missed it. He almost got in. I wish that was a touchdown. And then he just gets up and I scored. And they're wait, what?
Did you guys see that highlight package they played from college where he was just making those ridiculous one-handed catches in practice?
Landry
he caught one. He caught one he was running at full speed. That was Jarvis? Okay.
Yeah.
So Landry caught one running at full speed, and he turns back to the ball at the last second, and he just puts his hand there. And it's like those old – you ever see those old toys where it was a flat glove? It was a flat circular thing with Velcro, and you throw a tennis ball and it just goes –
yeah.
It just sticks to the thing. That's what it looked like. It looked like he had one of those, and the football was a tennis ball and just went – it was ridiculous. It was insane.
The two of them, they did a whole. ESPN was all over both of them all night, but those were pretty cool stories and pretty amazing seeing those highlights. And I know everybody's said it before, but you have to say it again. With all the weapons that LSU had, how did they not win and score more when these guys were there? Landry.
Mettenberger.
Yeah, there's your answer right there.
Mettenberger is the answer.
You can't just flat out blame him, though.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Terrible.
Oh, no.
He's pretty bad, dude.
Listen, it used to be people thought that Mettenberger made everyone around him better. The fact is, the 3 of them got him drafted, period. He sucked.
Could be.
No, not could be. That's pretty much a fact at this point. When you have those kind of transcendent talents with you, granted, Jeremy Hill is really not that good of a running back, but for college, I'm sure he was outstanding.
He was a beast.
When you have those 2 kind of receivers that can actually catch anything in their radius, it's a Velcro ball,
Just unreal.
You should be drafted because of the kind of numbers that you're going to put up.
Getting back to Phillip Rivers, and by the way, sorry, but I haven't eaten like a real meal all day, so I'm going to be like snacking and muting myself during the show. But getting back to Rivers, there is one upside that I thought about, Alex, while you were talking to playing Phillip Rivers. You get to play the only NFL player who wears a bolo tie. Like, that's pretty good, right? You guys ever watch the Netflix? You guys ever watch the Netflix Trailer Park Boys?
I hate that show. I'm
No.
sorry.
Me too, but wait, doesn't Phillip Rivers remind you of someone who like would be perfect? Like, he could just be a character in that show, I feel like.
Man, I quit after like 3 episodes. I was like, I can't do that anymore. I couldn't do it. It was so painfully bad.
Yeah.
Mark
All right.
wouldn't know. Mark wouldn't even look
Fair
at it.
enough, Alex. Let me introduce you to a friend of mine called Beer, which makes everything funnier. I'm kidding. No, but it was an interesting show. It was funny, and again, I feel like that's where Phillip Rivers belongs. Not in your DFS lineup, but on that Netflix show with
Put
his
on
bolo.
a show about Trailer Park Boys. All right, let's move on to
They're all Canadian there. Eh? It's real nice, you know.
real nice Trailer Park Boys. That sounds like an oxymoron. But what would I know? All right.
So does
let's go
Phillip
to-
Rivers. So does play Phillip Rivers in DFS. That sounds like an
Yeah,
excellent.
it sounds to me. I think that's going to be like contrarian this week because he's got nobody unless somehow his
Didn't
receiver
say it was a cash play.
gets crazy. It's not good. But let's go to the next one. I'm going to throw this back instead of flipping over to you, Pete. I know Alex wants to talk about this guy a lot, so go ahead and tell us. Right, you've got Marcus Mariota. So yeah, the Jets defense was all over him, but he still caught a touchdown pass, which is amazing.
Calvin Pryor fell down. Like, that's not a touchdown pass.
He was 5,700, got you 23 points on DraftKings, right? So actually, real quick, Rivers 5,500 on DraftKings, 7,400 on FanDuel. Mariota 55 on DraftKings, 7,300 on FanDuel. So we get it, right? You're going to tell us Mariota sucks. He's not a quarterback. Blah blah blah. He's still hitting value though, right? So.
Well, granted, 11 of almost half of his points came on the defender.
Came on a ridiculous play, right, where
Calvin Pryor came up to the line and he just lost his footing, and then all of a sudden Mariota was past him, and he's like, I don't know, I'm sorry. That was it. Like, that's all. That was the only score they had. That was it. And 2 more points on the. So actually, because of that play, he scored more than half of his points.
But to be honest, we mentioned him last week, I think, but we didn't really recommend him, right? So to be honest, whoever ended up playing him got lucky, right? Just like you kind of said last week. But now it's a different story going into New England with a team that's putting more and more people on IR, right? Dominique Easley now is on IR. What are your thoughts here on Mariota this week, then?
He can luck his way into more value again. Because they're going to be like, Bill Belichick's not going to give a fuck. He is going to destroy them from the beginning. It could easily be 45-0 at halftime. And
garbage time potential.
Garbage time city, and that's what makes him fantasy relevant. I don't think he's a good quarterback still. I think I was proven at least partially right on Sunday, seeing how he just got obliterated. I understand that the line was part of the problem, but he made some poor decisions on throws, some very inaccurate. Like I said, like he's accurate where a guy is wide open, the ball will get to him. He's not accurate in the sense of this guy's making this route, I'm going to put the ball exactly where it needs to be. He's not that kind of a quarterback, and in games like that, he's going to struggle every single time.
All right,
I agree.
Let's get Alex off his soapbox and move on to the next guy, Pete.
I'm not on my soapbox. I'm on my happy box. He got his ass kicked.
Okay, so your happy brand soapbox.
Yep.
All right. AJ McCarron, Pete, coming in at 5,400 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel.
Don't care.
Was it, about 3/4 of
Still, I don't. Still don't care. I don't care.
I'll take it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell us all about AJ McCarron.
He's going.
So I can give my hashtag analysis. He's going where?
Right.
Yeah.
Going to San Fran. You've got AJ Green. Let's say Tyler Eifert comes back and plays. You will have no shares of AJ McCarron this weekend.
I'll probably play one lineup with him, if I'm being totally honest. Just because the
Very
upside
low.
is there for winning a tournament, and as we know, the way to go is to play cheap quarterbacks. At least this year, you play cheap quarterbacks, and he'll be cheap. Am I going to
Oh,
own?
you play
So
cheap quarterbacks and he'll be cheap. Oh, okay.
yeah, hashtag analysis.
Hashtag analysis.
What more do you want? I mean, come on, that's exactly all you need. No, I mean, yeah. So he'll find his way into one of my let's take a shot in the dark with AJ McCarron lineups, but that's about it.
Okay.
I'm not buying the AJ to AJ.
You don't have to. You just have to buy the fact that San Francisco, I mean, they didn't get lit up, but they gave up a really good day to Manziel.
They're a lot better at home, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
They
But,
have proven that.
I mean, Cincinnati has all of the ancillary pieces to help him succeed, plus
Oh, wow.
what?
You just dropped an ancillary.
Good
Look at
word.
that.
Good word.
There. I apologize for using too big of a word on this show for the three of us. I apologize. Anyway, he has the pieces around him that can help him be successful. 2 good running backs, hopefully a tight end that is not concussed, couple nice receivers, one of the easily top 10 receivers in all of football. Like, when you have a guy like AJ Green to bail you out, that's like a very good thing. And I think this actually bumps up AJ Green's value more than the rest of the offense, because when AJ's in trouble, for AJ1, AJ McCarron, so should we call him AJM and AJG? I don't know. Which one is one? Which one
Just
is
go
two?
McCarron and Green.
Okay. McCarron is going to look to the real AJ, because he's going to be. It's not even like it's his security blanket. It's just he's the most talented player, and he's the only one that he will trust, because this is a guy that went to Alabama. He was throwing to Julio. I think did he throw a little bit to Cooper?
I don't think so.
Did they just miss each other, or
McCarron's been out of the league. He's been out of college
2
for
years.
what?
2 years, I thought.
If it's 2 years, then yeah, he threw to Cooper.
So he's had those kind of receivers to throw to throughout his success. Like when he was successful, AJ Green is the same as those two for him. He needs that guy to be successful.
Okay, so I agree. I see your point there, Alex. I kind of agree with Pete that I'll have a very, very small amount of exposure to him this weekend. I mean, it's inexperienced quarterback on the road with a team that's better at home. I mean, you know, and I don't think you're trying to sell anybody. Let me be straight. I don't think you're trying to sell anybody that he's the next Peyton Manning or anything. But
No.
he's,
But it
he's got
has
the
a lot.
potential to hit value, and that's really
Well,
what
he
we're
might be
looking
the next Peyton Manning of 2015.
at. Wow, look at you. Look at you. All right.
Fatima.
Let's move to our next guy, who I think we mentioned him once or twice before, and I feel like it makes Alex cringe when we say Alex Smith on this show. So 5,100 on DraftKings, 7,000 on FanDuel. He's not great, right? His ceiling seems to be pretty capped, right? He hasn't hit 30 points at all this year in DraftKings. His highest was
Wait, really? You sure?
27. So he's now going into Baltimore, a team that's just repeatedly been gashed through the air all year. No Suggs, so on and so forth. Right now they're, I guess Pete, help me out here. What's so good about Alex Smith this week that, other than the fact, like don't say he's playing Baltimore #analysis. Give me a reason to play Alex Smith.
That's all the analysis you need.
Yeah, okay, well, here you go. I'll make a legitimate case for him, because actually, I'm putting in a claim. So I'm in a league where it's me and this other guy, basically, and he just lost Andy Dalton, and he doesn't have another quarterback on his roster. And the only guys out there are Alex Smith and Teddy Bridgewater, I think, and then bottom of the barrel stuff.
Ew.
So I'm putting in a claim on Smith just to block him, because I have a higher waiver priority. We both have $0 in our budget, but I have a higher waiver priority than him. So here's the argument. Smith has been remarkably consistent. He's put up double digits, I think, every single week. His lows have been in the 12 to 13 range. His highs have been pretty reasonable. Also, if you look at what the best stack last week was the stack against the Ravens. the best stack was Baldwin and Russ Wilson playing against the Ravens. So, you know, the potential for that to repeat is actually pretty good. I think that Alex Smith is actually a reasonable play this week. I think he's reasonable enough that I am wasting my waiver claim to block my opponent from picking him up.
That's irrelevant on.
It's irrelevant on DFS, but I'm just giving you an example of how much I value him.
I mean, it's more. I think you're doing that more in a move not to get hurt by him, because what he does is exactly this. He will score you between 13 and 27 points. He won't get you more than 27 points. He won't get you less than 10. He's going to get you some points. He has a floor rushing the ball. Sometimes he gets 5 yards. Sometimes he gets 40 to 50 yards. That's an extra little floor. He's going to throw for either he's going to hit 300 and a touchdown or 2, or he's going to hit like 250 and 3 scores. Like, that's his ceiling. So with him, especially up against the secondary, you can just expect like that. Like, he's not going to wow. He's not going to do what Russell Wilson just did. It's not going to be like him and Macklin are going to be the #1 stack of the week. That's not going to happen. But he's not going to tank any of your lineups at all, especially at that price. When you can put in a quarterback at that price that's going to get you 13 points, it may not win you the top of the league, but it'll put the rest of your lineup in contention.
So, just to put something into perspective here, he's thrown for 300 yards once this season.
1 touchdown?
He's thrown 300 yards and no touchdowns.
Okay, even better.
He's thrown for 3 touchdowns in a game once this year.
Yeah, so it was a ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, I made the point. First off, I agree with you. His ceiling is not very high.
It also helps that Spencer Ware might not play, because then they don't have the goal line back.
And we've kind of overlooked this completely. He's 5,100. So for him to hit value, he doesn't have to wow you, right? He doesn't have to do what Wilson did last week. He doesn't have to do what Cam does week in and week out. He just has to get you, like you said, give me 30, 40 yards on the ground. That's 3 or 4 points right there. Give me 200 yards through the air. Give me a touchdown. And that's value, which you should expect from him. So in saying that, though, you have a ceiling, you have a floor, you don't have a high ceiling. Are you going with him in any cash games this week? Or let me rephrase that. If you played cash, would you go with him this week, Alex?
I feel like he's the safest of the safe quarterbacks in that matchup, plus his obvious floor without the high ceiling. In cash games, you don't need the tremendous ceiling. You like the tremendous ceiling, but you don't need it. But if he does hit his ceiling, you're still looking at 5x for a cash game, which is phenomenal. And if he hits his floor, you're looking at 3x. So yeah, I actually almost feel like he would be the cash quarterback this week. As far as safety goes, not like the play in cash, but like as far as the safest play.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I understand. Okay, let's move on to our next quarterback, Brock. His salary continues to hover around the same area right now. He's sitting at 5,100. Threw the ball 51 times and failed to get it into the end zone against Oakland. At home against Oakland this past week. Going into Pittsburgh now, Pete, are you on Brock at all, or is he another very low exposure kind of guy?
I don't think he's a high exposure kind of guy, but I think he's playable. You know, Pittsburgh, you can throw in Pittsburgh. Even A.J. McCarron was able to throw in Pittsburgh. So I think Osweiler can. I actually like one of his weapons. I like Demaryius a lot this week. At only 6,800 on DraftKings, I think Demaryius is a good play. Last week, caught 10 catches for 95 yards. And this week gets, in my opinion, a better matchup. And will continue to get a lot of looks. And he's been targeted a ton. Osweiler's targeted him a ton. So, I mean, if I like his weapon, I must like him, right? Especially at the price.
Not always true. But...
Yeah, that's always true. But in this case, I think it is true.
I think it's telling that you spent most of your time talking about Demaryius, not talking about Brock.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, I'm just pointing out that like it's a good matchup for the passing game, is where I was going with that analysis. I think. I think Pittsburgh just is terrible against the guys.
if Pittsburgh can put up points on Denver, which is not an easy thing to do, but assuming that this offense is better in terms of the NFL as Denver's defense is compared to the rest of the NFL, then yeah, you're going to be looking at they have to put up 30 points to win the game. And Osweiler needs to be a big part of that if they're going to win.
With Pouncey out, I think Pittsburgh takes a big hit this week. So I don't know. I'm probably fading. I'll fade Brock this week personally.
I think
okay.
between here's sorry to interrupt you. I was gonna say between if I'm gonna put one guy in a lineup, if you told me make a lineup with either McCarron or Osweiler, I'd rather make a lineup with McCarron. So I guess you could say that I'm also sort of not huge on Osweiler this week. I'd much rather make a lineup with McCarron.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
All right. So, no, like I said, it does make sense because, like I pointed out, you spent most of your time not talking about him. So,
right.
I think it definitely makes sense. As one of the listeners just pointed out, Pittsburgh's defense is actually playing a lot better at home as well.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a lot of problems in their secondary, regardless of whether they're playing
great, right? They gave up 10 points to Indy. That's not saying much with Matt Hasselbeck leading the charge. Holding
and the quarterback Jesus, Clipboard Jesus.
That's right. Clipboard Jesus was in there for part of the game. But overall, it's just something interesting to take a look at. It is in Pittsburgh. Let's see now. Last quarterback of the night, a guy that I kind of like a lot. I don't
know why, but I do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's T.J. Yates. 5,000 on DraftKings, 6,000 on FanDuel. Going into Indy, Alex. Brian Hoyer is likely done for the year. So,
really? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I heard that
he broke his ass.
Concussion, and he's I think because of
I need to go pick him up if he's available.
Either the number of concussions that he's had this year or recently, something like that. Their recommendation is that he's out for the year. So, just an interesting tidbit there. But back to DFS.
That's useful. Yeah, I can sit Tannehill. Hooray!
So T.J. Yates
so happy.
Into Indy. We're not really scared of that Vontae Davis defense unless apparently he's guarding Allen Robinson. So what's the deal with Yates?
Okay, so my thing with Yates is more team-driven and Hopkins-driven. He knows who to throw the ball to in Mr. Hopkins. He made him look very good. Actually, that's the best Hopkins has looked since the last time Hoyer was starting and was fully healthy. When Hoyer got knocked out of the Cincy game, Hopkins played well with Yates, and then Hopkins kind of went back down a little bit. So there's the Hopkins factor where he's just going to target Hopkins and pretty much only Hopkins. The other thing is they're in a divisional battle, and that's going to force them to play out. After getting their asses kicked by New Orleans, you don't think the defense is going to get in the locker room and raise some fucking hell the way they've been playing up until this week? They've been playing great football, great defense. They've been doing exactly what they've needed to on offense. I think that they're going to do that again in Indy, and Yates is an easy value of 5,000 here because his ability to throw to Hopkins, there is absolutely no running game, and that defense is going to get them real hyped up this game.
Just a heads up on Hopkins. Last time they played in Houston,
bonkers.
Hopkins went 11 for 169.
And 2 scores or 1 score?
No scores.
Oh.
Interesting, right?
That means he's due scores.
11 for 169. Very interesting. So, yeah, I agree. Plus, do you happen to know are Robinson and Shorts healthy?
You mean Washington?
Sorry, yes, Washington. Nate Robinson got basketball on the mind.
Hey, honestly, when the two of them are both healthy, it makes it worse for both of them.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
If one of them's healthy, they get into a groove. If they're both healthy, neither of them can get their footing, and they've been terrible when they've both been on the field.
Okay.
Nate was great, and Cecil was great when the other one was out.
What's also interesting to note is their pace. Aren't they playing at like the highest pace in the NFL?
That's impossible. The Eagles are in the NFL.
It's not impossible. I think I think Houston is either number one right now or very, very close.
I don't think it was all that close with the Eagles, so they must be number 2, if anything. And if
They've
you're
had a lot of snaps, though, and I think it's a part of that as a result of just being down a lot, honestly. Their pace has been pretty high. I think Mark's actually correct here.
At 1, though?
I don't know about number 1, but I remember it's top 5. And they might be, who knows, they might be 1 after playing New England last week.
Top 5 or even top 2, I believe, not top 1. I can't give you top 1.
Philly's been another story this year, though.
So let's see here. Seconds per play. They are, according to Football Outsiders, Philly is number 1 at 22.22. Houston is number 2 at 24.88.
Okay, exactly.
So they are a very close number 2 when you consider.
Well, I didn't. I'm sure they are number 2. That makes sense.
And then Dallas would be the exact opposite. 30 seconds per play, 30.7.
Well, they're trying to shorten every single game that they're in because they can't do anything.
And that's a good thing.
They're just trying to get out of the season healthy.
Which isn't happening.
Which is not happening. Well, Claiborne looked pretty good the other night, by the way.
Who?
Marcus Claiborne. Came back.
Yeah.
LSU Tiger.
All right.
No, I remember them drafting him. He was supposed to be the savior, and then he kept getting hurt. And he came back and was good.
The defensive back that they picked like 6th overall?
Yeah, Marcus Claiborne.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I rather like him. I think he's very good.
All right. That's it for quarterbacks this week. Let's move on to a very short section of running backs. First.
Even a section of running backs?
What's that?
Is this even considered a section of running backs?
It's really, I guess we can just call it a pair. A flat-out pair of running backs.
Not even, like, I don't even want to call it a pair of running backs. Just, there's nothing else to talk about here.
All right, so
let's talk about how Alex talked me out of playing the second one. Okay, well, I'll save it until then. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's save it
until we
actually talk about
okay,
that.
You know what? You talked me out of playing Brian Hartline, so I really don't care. I was all aboard the Hartline train. You're like, nah, Manziel. I was like, yeah, but like he's been really good lately, and there's nobody else to take targets away from. You're like, nah, don't play him. I was like, oh, okay. 8 for 107.
Yeah.
I actually did play Hartline in a couple lineups.
You son of a bitch!
See,
I completely faded him.
There he is.
Completely faded him after you talked me out of it.
Okay. My bad.
So,
Beats
people are
like
looking more than even on that one.
Okay.
I had Hightower in like 10 lineups last week, and then I ended up only playing him in 1 after talking to Alex.
Oh, man. I would have had Hartline in a lot of them.
See, you didn't talk to me. I would have said go for it.
Yeah, but we don't listen to you when you say go for it.
Yeah, well, then you would have fucked yourself over, which you did. So.
But, like, no, I just mean in general. Like, when Pete suggests something to me, I'm like, all right, you know what, maybe you're right. I'll start to fade it.
Well, let's just talk about Hightower first then, and then go to Riddick. Because it's the same game. It's the same game, right?
It's the same game.
Let's just talk about this game and cover both of them. What's the Vegas over-under? It should be pretty high, right?
And it's in a dome. Either way, it's in the dome.
Let me get the line and the over-under. Give me a second. Yeah, this should be a good game. So we got the opening line for that game is, as soon as I find it. Where is that game? Is that a night game? Oh, that's the Monday night game. Wow. No, yeah, okay, so the over-under is 50.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
The opening over-under is 50.5, which is the highest game of the week, even with Arizona at Philly also 50.5. So, yeah, Vegas likes it to be a high-scoring game, so do I. I actually probably am going to use Matt Stafford quite a bit this week.
Yeah, he's got to be.
But, yeah, if we're going to use Matt Stafford, though, look, like Theo Riddick, so the 2 running backs that we have on our running back values are Theo Riddick and Tim Hightower. Hightower, who I was talked out of using last week, got 28 carries. Yeah, I know, boo-hoo. I'm not really that upset, Alex, you got to understand.
I know.
But he got 28 carries and caught a few passes as well. So Hightower, to me, at 3,900 is a fantastic play. It's the minutes argument that I give every week. You want the guys who are getting the touches. You want the guys who are getting the work. So Hightower again. I'm on Hightower again this week, even though his price went up 900. Riddick, I actually used in a few lineups last week, was a little disappointing. I also, once again, think Amir is playable in this matchup, but I like Riddick a lot more because, yeah, I like Riddick a lot more because he's in. He's the passing guy, and this is going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a lot of throwing the ball around, and it's going to be a lot of quick drives, you know. So I think that Riddick is this week a very good play. Now, between the two, I would much rather play Hightower. He's $500 cheaper. He doesn't have as much competition for work as Riddick. What's that?
100.
What did I say?
500.
That's what I said, isn't it?
100.
It's 100.
He's 500, I thought.
He's 100 cheaper on DraftKings.
Oh, okay, I read that wrong. I thought it said 4,400, not 4,000. Well, he's still cheaper, and he doesn't have as much competition. So I'd much rather play Hightower.
On FanDuel.
I mean, my only thing with Hightower is he's so inefficient. Like, he needs a touchdown or it's useless. It's not like he catches a ton of passes.
Minutes.
Pass on one target. They're still pretending that C.J. Spiller is a thing. If they forget that C.J. Spiller is there, then yeah, maybe I think he has more upside. But I think his upside is capped as like 80 and a touchdown with maybe a catch or two. Like, I think that's where you're looking. For a value pick, for somebody you can put into your lineup and get you those points, I agree that I would rather play Hightower. But I think A, the upside's higher with Riddick, and B, I don't love not having a lot of upside with Hightower.
So you can't come out and say that Hightower's not using the passing game, right? He
No, I didn't
catch one ball for 10 yards. Spiller maintained like the same percentage snap count as he did when Ingram was there, and they were up for most of the game. So of course Hightower, when he gets the ball, is going to be running it. That's the only reason he had 28 rushing yards or rushing attempts is because they were up for most of the game, right? So
right. No, I wasn't saying
which
he wasn't.
could happen here. Detroit just put up a real dud against St. Louis.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that like he doesn't have the passing game chops. I'm just saying that they're not going to
that's what you said.
like. It took Ingram like 3 years to get more than 5 targets in a game. Like, I don't think they're going to give him 5 targets.
All right, so I'm legitimately curious here. Let's go down the list. Okay, I've given my answer. I prefer Hightower to Riddick this week. Alex?
I mean, just because he's going to get more touches and he's safer, I'm going to go with Hightower. But Riddick's upside is much better.
Hightower for me.
Okay, so we're all in agreement actually. There you go. If you got about $4K to spend it on Hightower.
All right, that's it for running back this week. And in case anybody's wondering why we're not looking at other guys like Denard Robinson or things like that, their price shot up. So Denard's at 4,600. Fred Jackson, who we kind of mentioned at the early onset, he's at 4,400. I mean, these guys aren't super cheap.
Bryce Brown though, not Fred Jackson.
Bryce Brown isn't even on the list.
Bryce Brown, you can't even play though. So it's like.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, don't use Fred Jackson because it's going to be Bryce Brown.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier on. So, all right, that's it for running backs. Let's move on to our trio of receivers, which I'll have the same reaction as Alex did to running backs. This is kind of the same thing. Like,
this week is gross.
Blah, just not a lot of fun stuff. So, I'm not gonna lie, this guy I never heard of because I kind of avoided the team completely the past few weeks. And that's Jeremy Butler coming in at 3,700 on DraftKings, 5,400 on FanDuel. In case you didn't know, he is a Baltimore Raven. He is their wide receiver too, taking on the Chiefs coming to town this week, sitting at that cheap of a price, Alex. He caught 7 for 72 this past week, 4 for 43 the week before. Potential for, I don't think they're going to see another 35-6 route, but there's a potential that KC gets a nice lead and Baltimore has to throw.
They very well could see that.
What are your thoughts here? You think Butler has I guess you obviously think he has the potential to repeat that, but can he do better?
Probably. I think this was like only his first real game with like genuine snaps. So he could do more, and I think that they could be down for longer. With the Seattle game, I think what was it, 6-3 or 14-3 at halftime? Or 14-6? It was close. It wasn't like
it was
a
right.
blowout.
You're right. It was close at half, but then they blew it open.
If Kansas City opens it up earlier, that means more targets are going towards the Baltimore receivers. And at this point, like, at that price, considering how many targets he's probably going to wind up with, I'm okay with it. I don't love it at all, but, I mean, it's the opportunity argument.
Yeah, they got to throw the ball to somebody, right? So I agree there. Kind of I don't know. I'm not gonna.
It's
I'm
gross.
not gonna be.
It's like I want to puke saying his name. But like,
It's gross, but let's get off of him and let's go to a guy, Pete, that I like a lot more. And I'm a big fan of this guy, especially with the news that Peanut Tillman, who's been out for a couple games, I think, but now likely done for the season, and Ben Wickery, or however you pronounce his name, also done for the season. Ruben Randall coming in with the Giants hosting Carolina at $3,500 on DraftKings, $5,600 on FanDuel. Pete, are you as high on him as I am? Assuming, of course, that Josh Norman shadows ODB.
Yeah, which I think is a safe assumption. No, I'm still not high on Randall. The problem with Randall is he's just so remarkably inconsistent. You know, he'll have and what's really frustrating about Randall is he'll be inconsistent when he should have a great game. You know, he'll be inconsistent when he should be getting a lot of targets, when he does have a cake matchup, and then he'll just do nothing. You know, Randall had a nice week last week, so if you played him last week, congratulations, you got a nice week out of him. If you play him this week, sorry, you missed his good week. It was last week. You know, he'll have another one in 4 or 5 games. So I'm just not. He's way too inconsistent for me. You know, other than OBJ, and I guess maybe now Will Tye. Eli does spread the ball around a lot. I don't buy any part of Randall at all this week. He'll have a good game, like 1 out of every 6 or 7, and you go, oh yeah, let's use him next time, and then he'll do nothing. And that's exactly what's going to happen this week. I've been to the future and back and seen it.
So
I'm just not on him.
0 shares for you, huh?
0 shares of Ruben Randall. You won't find him in any of my lineups. And if he scores 5 touchdowns and gets 300 receiving yards, then I'll still feel happy about it.
I don't think you will.
Yeah. The only thing I like about Randall this week is he is the only way that the Giants keep it close. If they get him the ball and get it to him a decent amount, it's the only way they open up the offense enough to.
But you have forgotten about option 2,
which is they suck.
The OBJ pimp hand. They can keep. That's how they can keep up. The OBJ, he just bam. You know, Josh Norman, sit down, son.
First of all, your pimp hand
Jr.
the entire time.
That's fine.
The pimp hand. Look at
it. Everybody here saw it. Everybody in the room with me saw it, which means my dog.
Pimp hand. Look at my pimp hand.
You saw it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's right.
All right.
Totally good argument. Hashtag analysis.
Love it. All right, let's move on to the final wide receiver we're going to talk to. And
yeah, speaking of which, everybody's calling for a Giants win this week. Like I've seen that everywhere. Like everybody's like Giants upset. Giants are gonna win.
Okay,
it's gonna be 45-0, and then I'm gonna call you guys up and say, hey.
No, I am not on this bandwagon. This is why the narrative is there. Manning has done it, I think, twice. I think of the 5 13-0 teams heading into Week 15, the Giants have beaten 2 of them. The Giants have taken down the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. It's just like the team that they're on that track where they suck all season, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, maybe we can win the division and get in the playoffs and see what happens. And that's kind of happening right now.
Yep.
But they are bad. Like I watched the whole game last night, and they are just not good. If it wasn't for Miami probably being
even worse,
bottom 3 franchise in football right now, that the Giants should have lost that game. The blown coverage for OBJ, the great catch for him. Other than that, yeah, Manning was incredibly efficient. Guess what? They didn't cover anyone last night. There were missed tackles everywhere, blown coverages everywhere. They pretended like they could run the ball. By the way, can they just decide on a running back, please? Pick Jennings or pick Darkwa. Don't play Andre Williams ever again. Vereen can come in on 3rd down. Just pick one, because they both look good when you give them the ball, and then you just take them out of a rhythm. That is just the dumbest.
They actually mentioned that last
I agree.
Night. When they had that fumbled snap or that fumbled handoff, I think Gruden mentioned, throwing all these guys in there is actually doing a disservice to them because it's
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
not all of them have
Yeah,
the same rhythm.
Like Rashad Jennings had some really nice runs last night.
Yeah, he looked
Let
good.
him get the ball.
You
I
know
don't
who's
see why
really
he wouldn't
bad,
have
by the
him.
way? Like, Andre Williams is really bad.
No, he's pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic.
is
And he's got the worst stone hands of any pass catcher I've
Like,
heard.
he's like Curtis Enos bad. Like, that's how bad he is.
The only reason I'm still convinced that the only reason he was drafted was because he was from BC. And that
Also, you know what was great?
Well,
Being a
that-
Bears fan in like 7th or 8th grade when the Bears drafted Curtis Enos, there were just constant jokes regarding
I can only imagine.
his skill sets.
Wait, no, Pete. Mark. I want to hear more about this. He's from BC, therefore he's still on the team theory.
Yeah.
I know he's from BC, but like. So.
Yeah, dude, Coughlin is like a huge BC guy. I don't know if he's a BC grad. Or
Tom
what.
Coughlin looks like a human
What?
raisin. You guys ever thought of that?
Many times, actually, yes.
Yeah.
He also looked like the man without a face when he was in Green Bay for that
Yeah.
championship game several years ago. But yeah,
He was doing jumping jacks last week.
The human raisin needs
I'm
to
not-
cut
I'm not
Andre
saying
Williams.
he's not a-
That's what
he's
needs
not
to
a-
happen.
tough old man, but he is a human raisin. I would agree with that. But yes, no one thought Andre Williams should have been drafted that early, or B should have been drafted by the Giants. So
Or C drafted period, apparently.
I'm still convinced Williams is only there because of BC. That's the only connection that the two have. It makes no sense otherwise.
Maybe he makes a fantastic cocktail. You know, the drink. Can
No.
make a killer Manhattan.
He couldn't hold the cups long enough.
Oh God.
All right, let's get off of Andre Williams and let's go to Javante Herndon. Help me out here.
Don't care.
Don't care. No, the only thing is that
No, I don't.
the Rivers argument. If all of his options are back, Rivers is great. If all of his options are not there, the only one that is there is probably going to be Herndon. He put up almost 10 points last week because there was nobody else to throw the ball to.
We'll
And they're
leave it
not
at that.
playing.
That's the best you can say about him. There was no one else to throw the ball to, and he
That's-
almost got
That's the
touched
Kamar
a couple
Aiken argument.
It's
That's
the best
Kamar
I
Aiken
can say
argument.
about him, and it's also the fact that he doesn't have to go up against Kansas City this week against Miami, who can't cover anything. So,
Well,
I could go for 5 for 100 against Miami. Like, I genuinely think I could do that. If they don't cover me, all I have to do is catch the ball for 20 yards 5 times and fall. That's it. They're not
Right.
going to cover me.
All right, let's get off of receivers then. Let's move to tight ends. So again, we've said many times it's just this week the value picks are not great, but that's just gonna make it that much more of an interesting.
hey, wait. What about my 15 question marks wide receiver value pick?
Oh, I totally forgot about the
No,
question.
let's save him for us.
And that was
Okay, yeah. Don't tell him, Mark. This is our
Yeah,
secret.
no.
Okay, nobody can know.
Skip.
dun dun. All right, if you want to know who Pete really loves, tune in Thursday.
We'll think. We won't.
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't
I'll
think
probably
we
put him in a
can say it.
lineup.
We'll probably put him in a lineup, and we'll.
Can we not? I want to save him. He's mine.
Let's put him in a lineup, but let's not identify him as the value pick
As
of the
the,
week.
as the
I
question
think
mark
it'll be
value
pretty.
pick.
I think it'll be pretty clear when you see his price close enough to our threshold. But okay.
Yeah. So hey, tweet at us who you think the value pick is. Leave a comment or tweet at us and tell us who you think our value pick wide receiver was. Actually, Pete's value pick wide receiver was because both Alex and I overlooked him.
No, I didn't.
And I
overlook
responded
him.
to their value pick email with this guy's name and 30,000 question marks. So
No,
Yeah.
I get yelled at when I do. This guy isn't cheap enough, or this guy isn't a value enough. So I stop at 4,000 now.
I never yell at you.
Mark does. You don't.
does.
Mark.
All right, let's move on to tight ends then.
You know what we should do? We should play for Mark that other Vine that I sent you.
Which one?
You remember the other one? Let me see if I can find it.
I do. It should be in the email. I think we sent it to him.
I'm gonna try to find it.
If it was in the email you guys sent me, I read that whole thing, so I saw the vines.
Yeah, but the other one was perfect. Oh yeah, I found it. Okay, here it is.
What was
All right,
the second?
go ahead, keep going, Mark. I'll link it to you in a
Sure.
second.
Screen share.
All right.
I don't know how to screen share, but I'll give you the link.
Really easy. You go to the left
Is
side of
there
it
no audio? There's none.
where it has the green arrow.
Yeah, but I got a whole bunch of other stuff up. So here's the link.
Give it a Mark.
Yes.
Mark's.
Okay, hold on. All right, there you go. Bam.
You
This
can
is
build
like the
colonies
perfect
and
farm.
other nerd stuff, but you can't click screen share.
Yep.
You know what? You know what,
True
Mark?
test of a nerd. We can't do these
No.
simple things, but we can do the crazy thing.
Yeah. There you go. This is a great vine. I love this vine so much. This is my favorite vine, actually.
Mark, play it.
Hang on. I need.
So this is in regards to all of the wide receiver value picks that we just talked about. Yeah.
Who were we talking about when you said this though?
Kyle Rudolph.
Oh, this is also part of the Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, so this is in response to Kyle Rudolph. So Alex, if you guys watched last Thursday's show, to the very end we had a nonsense segment where we played some vines about how little I care about Kyle Rudolph. So after after Alex's epic real researched analysis that he clearly spent time on why to play Kyle Rudolph, I just sent him a vine saying I don't care, followed by this vine.
It sounded like it was
No.
really
Real quick question though. Is
No,
there
this is
sound on
different.
this?
There should be sound, yeah, upper left corner. There should be like a sound.
Okay.
button.
Pete, you're talking
Oh,
about
there
the
we go.
one that we
Okay,
thought
got
we
it.
played on Thursday. This is the
Wait, Mark, you were laughing that hard without sound?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait till you hear the sound.
Oh, no, I imagine the sound because of the hashtags,
Okay.
but okay, here we go.
It's so much better. There's no sound. We gotta stop. Where's the sound?
God, Mark, you're the worst.
Why? What happened?
There's no sound.
You don't.
Are you playing it through your headphones?
Yeah, it's through my headphones. You guys aren't gonna hear it.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Okay.
Alex, why don't you just play it?
Because this is too much fun now.
It's gonna be the same thing, I think, if people.
Are you gonna play it again, Mark, or no?
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play it. Damn it. Hold on.
I'll do it.
Okay, Alex is gonna do it good. It's so good. It's so good. So this is in response to all of the really bad value picks out there this week.
Am I presenting?
Yes.
Yep.
Yo, Brandon, what's number one? Brandon! I don't give a fuck, bitch. I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do. Yo, Brandon, what's number one? Brandon! I don't give a fuck, bitch.
It's so funny.
Dude, the
It's
kid's
so good.
face. The kid's face.
I know. It's so good.
All
All
right.
right.
Now
Well,
back
that was
to.
weird. Don't ever do that again, both of you. Did you guys not hear it? Not? Okay.
All right, back to Vernon Davis, our first tight end pick, 3,300 on DraftKings, 5,200 on FanDuel. Go ahead, Alex.
Can we
I'm
just play the vine again?
I'm just not enthused
Play
with
the fun
any of
game.
these guys, man.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Wait, who's first? I don't know.
Vernon Davis. Do you have anything to
Vernon! 7 for 74. That's all I have to say. He is like. That's what he should have done the week we really recommended him, and now he's back to doing it. So he'll probably let us down this week, but he's a great PPR option in this offense because this is the way the offense goes. It's a lot of running and a lot of play action, and he's the first look in the play action.
Right, we said it when he got traded was they needed an athletic tight end, and
That's not Owen Daniels that gets goose eggs against the Raiders.
yeah, I said an athletic tight end, and what's his
Maybe.
name? Kubiak's offense. That's how Kubiak's offense runs, right? So he should be seeing more and more. You're right. This is what we expected. 1 or 2 weeks ago when we were pretty high on him. So it's just coming to fruition now. You're saying now, Pete?
I was just gonna say for $300 more you could have Zach Miller, and I'd much rather play him.
Okay, so let's go down though and talk about Will Tye, Pete.
Yeah.
We kind of just touched
Yeah.
on him a little bit earlier. You hate Ruben Randall. Do you like
Right.
Tye?
More than Randall. I think as a low-cost tight end option, he's pretty good again this week. Carolina, you can throw the ball to the tight end against Carolina. That's one of the things that their defense has not totally shut down. So, yeah, I'm okay with Tye. I don't think I'll use him a ton, but I will have some exposure to him.
He's got a nice floor these past 3 weeks. He's gonna get you 3 catches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a nice. He's got, I think, good potential to hit you cash value.
And they clearly have a red zone look for him too, as we saw Monday night.
Yes, that was beautiful. So okay,
He's good. He's better than Donnell, in
just
my opinion. And everybody saw what Donnell did
Yeah.
for a little while.
just ew to this next guy.
It's the
What
same.
else is there? Like,
It's the Saints.
Eric Ebron,
the grossest, but it's
3,000 on DraftKings, 4,800 on FanDuel. I mean, so we're mentioning him, but Alex, other than the fact that he's playing the Saints, are you going to put him into any for any other reason?
First of all, Pete, what was that?
I had to stretch, man. I've been sitting down for like 7 hours.
Okay. The only reason that I will play him in maybe one lineup is the matchup and the fact that he could go off. But he is the least safe person, I think, in the NFL at this point. Drops, injuries, the team itself is just a absolute dumpster fire with Jim Bob Cooter.
I agree.
Jim Bob Cooters.
I mean,
Fighting Jim Bob Cooters.
the only thing I can say is that maybe he's just been a little bit better in any dome, playing in domes. That's like the only thing that I could like maybe say.
Okay.
It's gross, but
Yeah.
he has that ability. He just doesn't get the targets or he fucks it up.
Yeah. All right. No. All right. Let's move on to the next one, just because I hate spending time on Eric Ebron.
Yeah,
Me
Clyde
too.
Walford, Pete. 2,600 DraftKings, 4,700 FanDuel. Let's see. The past few games, receiving wise, he's been between 1 and 5 catches. We're looking again at 2,600 on DraftKings, 4,700 on FanDuel. Taking on a Green Bay team that admittedly kind of stinks when covering the tight end. Micah Hyde hasn't been great all year. So, what's your thoughts here?
Usable.
Anything?
The price is right, as they say. Again, one of those guys you want very low exposure to. I think has the potential to put up a nice game. You know, he's hit double digits once, but sort of an extremely low floor, and in my opinion, sort of a low ceiling too. So, you know, this is another one of those play the vine type of guys.
So, I mean, he's still fighting with Rivera, right? Rivera wasn't injured or anything, and Rivera caught the touchdown this past weekend. So, Alex, why Walford over Rivera?
The price, I think, or this
$100 difference.
Yeah. Okay. I like Walford better because he's a better receiver. They had Rivera as a rookie last year, and they promptly drafted Clive Walford. So clearly, they have a much higher overall idea of who they want Walford to be as opposed to Rivera. They moved on pretty quickly from Rivera, in my opinion. He's just kind of there as depth. Better receiver, and he's been getting a lot of Carr's trust recently. He had 8 targets this week. I know the matchup played a lot into it because they're playing the Broncos, and the Broncos can't really do anything with tight end. But I just think that it doesn't have as low as a floor as you think, and there's a chance he could get in the end zone. It's not safe, but at that price, I don't really see many other options that I'd rather play there. For somebody that, like, I know he's going to get you at least a catch. He's not getting a goose egg.
All right. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research on that team all
This
year. So I
whole
don't know.
week is gross. I'm sorry. Everything that I feel like I've said tonight has been so gross.
Yeah, but it's not your fault. It's just the way the pricing works out, right? I mean, like we've said all along, the pricing is just yuck. But in terms of Oakland tight ends, if I'm really going for one of them, I just got to do some research as to which one is the true number one, and I think it's Rivera. But
More of the blocking guy. I think Walford is the much better receiver.
Yeah. All right. Then again.
You remember last year we were all over Rivera and we liked him, but then all of a sudden they were like, nope, we don't like him as
yeah,
normal.
he just dropped off. But again, if I do a little research, or if someone out there does the research and sees one's more a receiver versus a blocker, then go with the receiving tight end, whichever one that is. Again, $100 difference in the price on DraftKings, so you're not breaking the bank either way.
We're probably playing either of them, to be honest. But
yeah, same here.
There are worse things.
All right, on to defense real quick. Jacksonville coming in at 2,400 on DraftKings, 4,400 on FanDuel, taking on a seemingly pathetic Atlanta offense over the past few weeks.
You're specifically looking for a seemingly pathetic Matt Ryan.
Yeah, when did Matt Ryan turn into Matt Schaub?
Ryan Leaf.
Or Ryan Leaf, yeah, like this is miserable. What happened?
I don't know.
It's been a tough couple of weeks.
Dan Quinn happened, I guess.
No, Kyle Shanahan is the problem.
They look
You
good.
know,
at the beginning of
this
the
is actually how I explained it to a friend. That with Kyle Shanahan, your offense is going to be moving towards more running the ball. Where he had Dirk Cotter, who loves to throw the ball deep as much as possible. This offense is a little bit more dink and dunk, and the offense is being taken out of his hands a little bit more, and he doesn't get into like a rhythm. It's almost like he's a running back that's not getting enough touches. He is forced into being this game manager who hands the ball off on first and second down, and then on third down, they're like, okay, go get us a third down, and Matt Ryan's like, I'm not ready right now. So Ryan, when he was throwing 40-plus times a game the past couple years, was great, throwing up outstanding numbers. Now he's being asked to do less, and he just doesn't have that rhythm going that allowed him to be as successful as he was in prior years. That's my take.
I totally agree. That's one of the reasons why at the beginning of the year I was so big on Jameis as Dirk Cutter. If you noticed, I drafted him in Dynasty this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Dirk Cutter is one of the most underrated offensive coordinators in the league. I
agree.
Because he's a DGAF OC. He throws the ball downfield. He's the Jay Cutler of offensive coordinators, but with more success.
That was what we loved about, for Julio's sake.
Right.
Julio Boner was born.
Okay, so play the Jags because Kyle Shanahan sucks and Matt Ryan sucks right now.
Yep.
On to the next defense and our final pick of the night, the Colts coming in at a bare minimum 2K. I don't think we've seen anybody at 2K this year, have we?
The Bears!
Oh, that's right.
And I played them when they were 2K and they put up 8 points.
Yeah.
4,100 on FanDuel, Bear 2K on DraftKings. Is this because they're playing TJ Yates?
Partially, but also on the same side of it, it's like the last 4 weeks, I think they've put up 2 double digits and a 9 this week.
9, 0, 11, 15.
Yeah, so like, I'm okay with those numbers. Like,
and the 0 was at Pittsburgh.
For $2,000 to take 3 out of 4, you're gonna hit tournament value. Sure, I'll have exposure to them because they can sack, or they can get sacks. They've shown the ability to occasionally get in the end zone, and Houston just really isn't that good of an offense. So they could potentially keep the scoring down.
Because of the price, Pete, are they cash viable for you?
Yeah. I mean, any defense going up against a third-string quarterback that's semi-competent at 2K is pretty much cash viable.
There we are.
Right? Am I wrong?
That's exactly what I thought. That's why I asked. I thought the same thing. At 2K, a couple of sacks, give me a pick or a fumble recovery or something. I mean, it's not asking a lot when you're having TJ Yates throw the ball more than likely 30-plus times.
Yeah, like the Chiefs are my defense of the week, but if you don't have the money for them, I'd probably go straight for the Colts.
All right, let's see. Really quickly going down looking for questions. Yes, we want you to try and guess Pete's value pick.
At wide receiver, somebody was saying Broncos D, which is...
It's not a value pick anymore. Come on.
It's not a value pick. Since week 1, he's been touting that as well. So
they're top 5. They're top 5. That's not value.
All right, let's go to... Anything here. Somebody sells empanadas. Good for you, Miguel.
You send me some? I'm hungry.
Let's see. They've used Clive all year to some extent, even though that extent is small. Thanks, Justin.
Appreciate
Justin,
it.
you're a Ravens fan. Why are you paying attention to the Raiders? That's interesting.
Because the Ravens are awful this year. Need to do something else.
All right, let's see. Justin, interesting. ATL defense versus the Jags for a rebound game.
Nope.
I don't know. That offense has been...
I trust Bortles a hell of a lot more than I trust Matt Ryan right now.
Offense has been straight fire the past couple weeks, too. Someone asked about DeJuan Harris. DeJuan Harris is...
Released. Good question. You should, look at news first.
Yeah, Yeah, it's Bryce Brown in Seattle.
The Broncos D comment was sarcasm, so my bad. It's very tough to.
I like it when you read these things and like we don't know how the context of how these things are phrased.
Dude, yeah, dude, that was like for Ben a couple weeks ago. He's like, "What about Forte or Langford or this guy or that guy?" And we're like, "No." He's like, "I'm just kidding, guys." All right, let's see. I think that's it. Vikings, good cheap play. Steelers too. Nah, I don't agree with the Steelers call. Let's see what the Vikings. Where are they? Chicago coming to town. They're 2,500. What are your thoughts there, Pete?
Playing who? The Vikings D?
Vikings D. Chicago
Yeah, I think the
going into
Vikings
Minnesota.
defense is a decent play this week, actually.
2,500, not bad.
I also, for that matter, I think the Bears D is not a terrible idea.
The Bears.
I'm not trusting the Bears after what they just did.
Yeah, they look pretty bad. But I think they're a more reasonable rebound candidate than Atlanta.
All right,
Well,
that is it for us
Not
tonight. Thank you guys
That's not a hot.
very much.
That's an ice cold shower take. Not a hot take.
All right, Alex was going in and out. I don't know what he said, so we're just gonna cut it off.
He's talking
We'll
about
end it.
taking an ice cold shower.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Cool, man. Enjoy.
A little shower cry, maybe puke a little.
All I picture is Ace Ventura when he found out Finkel was Einhorn.
Oh man, Einhorn is Finkel. Einhorn.
Einhorn is a man.
I used to have that whole movie memorized when I was a kid. I thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Oh,
It's
dude,
the greatest thing ever. What do you mean?
what's the greatest? That is.
And then the sequel was such a letdown.
What? Are you
No,
out
the
of
only
your
thing.
mind?
All right, yeah, it was. The only thing about the sequel that I loved was him getting out of the rhino. That was.
That was hysterical. That was hysterical. All right.
Wait, but you thought that you liked the sequel? The sequel
I
wasn't
thought
good.
the sequel was hysterical. Absolutely. Bumblebee tuna, everybody. No, you didn't laugh at that?
I mean, it was kind of funny, but like the first one was brilliant. The second one was just like, what are you doing?
I'm not saying it was better than the first, but it was still hysterical.
Hey guys, we already have 2 dislikes this week on our video. I love
Really?
that. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Ugh.
So hey guys, how about we get some likes on there, if you don't mind? I would.
You know what we need to
appreciate
do? We need to find the people who disliked it and make them watch that Vine on repeat for like 36 hours in like a chamber. That's what we should do.
it.
It's
also,
Punishment for their ineptitude and
Okay.
clicking the like button.
Justin just points out we already established Mark's questionable movie taste.
Good point. Good point, Justin.
Established this.
Justin is right.
So to that I say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
You're cool.
You're cool. And fuck you. We're done for the week. Click like, click share, follow us on Twitter, and come back Thursday. Thanks, guys. We'll see you then.